What is good in this afternoon, evening for some of you? Thank you guys for joining me. Detach Myself, the 185, Daniel Berry. Good to see all of you guys. Very Carey. Let me remove this kitty cat. I don't want to be swinging a cat in y'all face. Let me remove the kitty cat and see who is here. Oh, let's see who is here. If you guys didn't hear about this young podcaster who did a podcast, and he just asked the question, why do you support 4547? A simple question. His name is, what is his name? I have it here. Dean Withers. Go over there and check out Dean Withers. He has a question of MAGA supporters. A very simple question. Why do you support MAGA? And it he got a lot of responses, but the biggest response that he had from these people who he just asked, why do you support 4547, was against black people. This was the biggest response there, when there was no offering up of any reason why they did support 4547, but there was a whole lot of N-words thrown around, but no definite reason why they supported 4547. So he has a question. Does MAGA hate black people? Let's see him. I'm gonna drop this link in the chat. I don't think I put the link in my description box, so I will drop this link in the chat. Let me say hello to you guys first. This is the link. This is Reese Waters. Go over there and check him out. Hey Styles with Tisa, I appreciate you. Hey No Pressure. Hey Vibrant Law, Miss Queenie, Soul Sister #1, Bird, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you helping me reach my goal. Styles with Tisa. Remember to like the video on your way in. Okay, I detached. I spoke with you. Okay, I spoke with everyone. So he has a question based upon
I just want to be clear here. Republicans hate black people. MAGA hates black people. Right? So if you're watching this and you're a black person, MAGA hates you. They hate you. They loathe you. They despise your existence. What's my evidence for this? We've been live for about an hour now. We haven't had one Trump supporter come up here and tell us why they support Trump. No, we haven't. We haven't. We've had maybe 20 people come up here and scream the N-word, though. Republicans are more willing to slur. Republicans are more willing to hate crime. Republicans are more willing to despise you for your existence if you're a black person watching this than they are willing to give one intellectual reason why Donald Trump is a good president.
Take your time, baby. Take your time.
So for everybody watching, I mean, I'm talking about the 2.2 thousand people on YouTube and the 7.3 thousand people on TikTok. This shit should be radicalizing you. I'm being so fucking real. This shit should radicalize you. How scary is that? The millions of Americans that support the president we have today don't support them because of reason, don't support him because of fact, don't support him because of logic. They don't support him because of anything in alignment with reality. They support him out of hate and disdain for you if you are a black person, right? And once again, the fact that we have had 20 people come up here and vocalize their explicit hatred for black people, instead of giving one argument for why they support Trump, one reason, talking about the economy, talking about his policy, immigration, foreign affairs. No, it's just the N-word.
Now that was a masterpiece from start to finish.
Okay, so go over there and check out Reese Water, and also go over there and check out Dean Withers. Dean Withers has a channel where he routinely challenges MAGA. He routinely asks questions that they, for some reason, aren't able to answer. Thank you, Melissa King. I appreciate you for supporting the channel as well, and for being here. So I have a question for you guys. Did any of you guys watch the RFK Jr. Hearing? You know, he is over Health and Human Services. Did any of you guys watch that? Well, let's watch together. Let's watch a little bit of this together. I don't see a lot of answers, so we will peruse the hearing of RFK Jr. Together. RFK Jr. Is the one who proclaims that AIDS does not affect Africans in the same way it affects people on the Western Hemisphere. So I wonder, does that include blacks in the Western Hemisphere? I'm just curious. Okay, so your health is in danger. Here's where we're going. Okay, so let me share this with you. It is in my description box under your health is in danger. So now, if you guys are not aware, Florida, of course it would be Florida, has taken back any vaccination requirements for students going to school. The Black Attorney General of Florida likened having your kids vaccinated. He said it is like slavery. That is what he said in his announcement of rescinding any vaccine requirements for your children to go to school in Florida. A black man said this. We're going to get to that. Okay, so let me see what you guys... thank you again. Millions of children will die with him at the helm. You have not said nothing but a word. This is the most ignorant shit. And when you find out the nasty details of who he has put in the stead of real scientists, real doctors, we have people who are straight up grifters, people who are denying that the COVID vaccine was effective in us shutting down the virus and saving lives. All types of grifters, non-doctors, a whole bunch of clowns that he has replaced the doctors with. I didn't even know all this. This is why if you want to be informed, when you hear about a hearing that's coming up, it'd be a good thing to sit in on some of these hearings, because I tell you, that is where all the real information is dropped. So let's okay. This is his introduction. I don't want to. We'll play a little of this.
The A is 70.
Oh, and why is the head of the Health and Human Services sound like Darth Vader is breathing? It sounds like a iron lung when he's breathing, and you're gonna hear a whole lot of breathing because he's gonna hyperventilate a lot, trying to have little cute qualms and asking questions of the people who are there to ask him questions and demanding that they give him answers when they are there to demand answers from him. Oh, it is a mess.
6.4%. 8 out of 10 of our kids cannot qualify for military service. This is a national security issue. When my uncle was president, we spent zero on chronic disease. Today, we spend $1.3 trillion. It's the biggest cause. It's increasing. And all of the arguments that Republicans and Democrats have about single payer, Obamacare, or the various ways to allocate the health dollars, they're all like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. If we don't end this chronic disease, we are the sickest country in the world. That's why we have to fire people at CDC. They did not do their job. This was their job to keep us healthy.
Thank you,
And
Mr.
I need to fire some of those people to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I have to cut.
Okay, so let's understand the United States pays more in money. The United States definitely pay more money in healthcare and have abysmal outcomes in healthcare. That is a fact. However, I see that he is working with the Department of Agriculture and different things like that. Well, what do you have to say with all of the GMOs and all of this stuff that they are putting in our products, that they're putting in our seeds, and we can't even get real fruits and vegetables anymore? Nothing, he said nothing about any of that, because that's making billionaires get richer, get more billions. But let's get to the questions. He's not gonna answer my question. Hell, he ain't answering their questions.
Myself off to make sure I keep to this time frame too. Senator White.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I've made it clear. I think that Secretary Kennedy is dead set on making it harder for children to get vaccines, and that kids are going to die because of it. And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to put in the record today an op-ed written by Susan Monarez, who was fired by Mr. Kennedy.
Without objection.
So what we know, and Dr. Monarez, was approved by Republicans. She wrote an op-ed today in the Wall Street Journal, which I've just put in the record, and I quote her. She said, "I was told to pre-approve the recommendations of a vaccine advisory panel newly filled with people who have publicly expressed anti-vaccine rhetoric." So this is not some liberal philosopher or something. This is the CDC director who tells the Wall Street Journal, which is not exactly interested in progressive, theories and the like, that she was told to pre-approve the recommendations of a vaccine advisory panel filled with people who've publicly expressed anti-vaccine rhetoric. So my first question, Mr. Secretary, is, did you in fact do what Director Monarez said you did, which is tell her to just go along with vaccine recommendations, even if she didn't think such recommendations aligned with scientific evidence?
No, I did not.
That's a yes or no. So you have an opportunity to call her a liar if you say that you didn't do it, but I'd like to see you respond to this.
No, I did not say that to her. And I never had a private meeting with her. So there are witnesses to every meeting that we have, and all of those witnesses will say, I never said that.
Okay, so you never had a private meeting with her. Did you email her? So you're going to sue her for defamation, or she's going to be able to sue you for defamation? One or the other. Let's continue.
She's lying today to the American people in the Wall Street Journal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's talk now about what's coming up, because I've made it clear what I've thought about the 203 days with my colleague, Senator Also Brooks. In 2 weeks, CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices will meet to make decisions about critical vaccines that protect us against hepatitis B, measles, and more. The committee's got a profound impact on vaccine access, but these aren't ordinary meetings. You've stacked the deck to ensure the panel bends to your views. In June, you fired all 17 committee members who were respected scientists and doctors. You replaced them with non-experts, vaccine skeptics, and conspiracy theorists. As a result, this critical advisory panel has lost scientific credibility. After years, colleagues, we spend so much time not looking at this as Democrats and Republicans, but as good science and scientific credibility. And now the American Academy of Pediatrics has warned that the committee is being politicized at the expense of children's health. American Academy of Pediatrics, you think they're lying too?
I think the American Academy of Pediatrics is gravely conflicted. They get their biggest contributors are the 4 largest vaccine makers. They run a journal, Pediatrics, which they make a lot of money on, that is completely dependent on pharmaceutical companies. So I wouldn't put a big stake in what they say that benefits pharmaceutical interests.
Oh, but we're gonna ignore all of the junk science. He actually said something about their other treatments for COVID. It may have been in his opening statement. We just got the end of his opening statement. He was touting ivermectin, the horse deworming pill that they were out here spewing, that crock pot theory. He actually said that in this hearing about ivermectin. Okay, so we're gonna ignore all of the fucking alleged non-FDA approved supplements that he profited from, but now he's saying that the Child Pediatric Association is profiting from vaccine makers. Okay, let's listen. And
Senator, I didn't politicize ASAP. I depoliticize it. The Congress has been investigating ASAP.
All over the country, Mr. Secretary, scientists and doctors are saying otherwise. They're all wrong too. They're all lying, according to you.
The scientists and doctors are supporting me all over the country. There is division on opinion.
I don't get letters from thousands of people who are not political saying that this set of changes is going to damage American healthcare, and particularly these healthcare agencies, for decades to come. I don't get any letters from people saying, hey, this is going to make a big difference forever.
Maybe you're listening to a selective group of people.
You get me.
Yeah, and I will. Fine. I will tell you what, Senator. I will put my mailbag against your mailbag any day of the week.
30 seconds. Dangerous respiratory viruses like RSV are on the agenda for the next advisory meeting. Countless parents have been awakened in the dead of night by a wheezing kid gasping for air, forced to rush their little one to the ER. There's no worse heart-wrenching fear.
Well, goddamn, even lying-ass Pizarro, a fake child was wheezing and stuff and had to go to the emergency room, and she had to crowdfund for a respirator or whatever else she was begging for her child. Even a liar was talking about the breathing of their child and all of this type of stuff. Surely the head of the Health and Human Resource is aware of this. Even a liar is aware of this enough to have it a reason to beg from subscribers. Let's continue.
The RSV vaccine offers these kids protection against the worst effects of the virus.
And I hope he's aware of it. You hear all of this heavy breathing? Let's continue.
But now it looks like you're on a crusade to make infants and babies more vulnerable to the terrible illness. That's what we're doing with the COVID changes.
And please make your answer brief, Mr. Secretary.
I've said that
position is indefensible. I think it's possible.
Congress has been investigating that committee for 23 years because it is pervaded with conflicts of interest. What we did is we got rid of the conflicts of interest, and we depoliticized it and put great scientists on it from a very diverse group.
Let me close with
very pro-vaccine.
Let me close with this, because like Senator Crapo, I'm a few seconds over. I don't think, Mr. Secretary, this is about you and me. This is about kids being pushed in harm's way by reckless and repeated decisions to get scientists and doctors out of the way and allow conspiracy theories to dictate this country's health policy. I don't see any evidence that you have any regrets about anything you've done or plans to change it. And my last comment is, I hope that you will tell the American people how many preventable child deaths are an acceptable sacrifice for enacting an agenda that I think is fundamentally cruel and defies common sense. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do I get a reply? Or Senator, you've sat in that chair for how long? 20, 25 years, while the chronic disease in our children went up to 76%. And you said nothing. You never asked the question, why it's happening? Why is this happening? Today, for the first time in 20 years, we've learned that infant mortality has increased in our country. It's not because I came in here. It's because of what happened during the Biden administration that we're going to end.
I'm going to let Senator Wyden respond briefly to that, and then we're not going to go over like.
Okay, now, I would be remiss if I did not retell the story that I gave you yesterday that Mississippi infant birth rate has gone down significantly. They are the highest rate of child death in the country. This is a red state. Mississippi that find it okay for a millionaire Brett Favre to take money out of their SNAP program, their food assistance program. This red state, Mississippi, they are trending 9 deaths out of every 1,000 live births. So, what are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Let's continue.
We just did.
Defend this committee on a bipartisan basis. Colleagues, my cabinet secretary says that we have no interest in chronic care. Mr. Secretary,
Mr. Chairman, could we have regular order, please?
We are in the process of turning around the Medicare program with the chronic care bill that Chairman Hatch, when he was chairman, and this committee put together on a bipartisan basis.
All right, we're going to proceed. And I just want the rest of the members to know, I gave Senator Wyden as ranking member some leeway there, but we're going to stick to the 5 minutes. Senator Grassley.
First of all, thank you. I have
that we use the best science and separate and eliminate politics as much as possible.
That is what my job is. That's what my mission is. Eliminate the politics from science.
Senator Bennett.
Mr. Secretary, in June, you fired every member. Mr. Secretary, Mr. Secretary, may I have my time back, Mr. Chairman? Thank you. Mr. Secretary, thank you for your attention. In June, you fired every member of the well-qualified panel that was charged with recommending vaccines to the CDC. No one in your job has ever fired every committee member all at once. That month, you told the American people that you were, quote, going to bring great people onto the ASA panel, not anti-vaxxers. Are you aware that one of the people you put on the panel, Dr. Robert Malone, claimed that the commonly used mRNA vaccine, quote, causes a form of AIDS and can damage children's, quote, brains, their heart, their immune system, and their ability to have children?
If you're not familiar, the mRNA vaccine is the COVID vaccine. He said that it could. One of the people that he brought on the panel, where he fired all of the panel, said that about the vaccine.
In the future, yes or no, Mr. Kennedy?
And Dr. Malone is one of the inventors.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Were you aware that he had that view when you appointed him to this panel?
Dr. Malone is one of the as I said, Dr. Malone is one of the inventors of the mRNA
That's fine.
vaccine.
That's
So
not
he knows a lot more
that
about
statement,
it than I do.
Mr. Chairman, that statement is not true that Dr. Malone made, just as it wasn't true when you wrote that, quote, African AIDS.
He said that he knows more about the vaccine than I do. So, in avoiding answering that, yes, he did. He was aware of that. That was his position when he put him on this board.
Is entirely different from Western AIDS. Are you aware that another one of these new members, Dr. Levy, wrote that, quote, evidence is mounting and indisputable that mRNA vaccines cause serious harm, including death, especially among young people? Yes or no? Are you aware that he said that?
I wasn't aware he said it, but I think I agree with it.
You agree with it? It's not true. It wasn't true when he said it, and it's not true when you said it. Secretary Kennedy, later this month, your new panel will meet to consider changing vaccine recommendations for American children. In addition to the COVID-19 vaccines, they are set to review recommendations for the hepatitis B vaccine, for measles, for mumps, for rubella and varicella vaccine, and the RSV vaccine. These are common back-to-school vaccinations for children all over the industrialized world. If you change that, you owe parents in Colorado and across the country the benefit of some transparency, I think. If your panel recommends changing the vaccine schedule for children, do you anticipate that fewer children will receive these common vaccinations, yes or no?
What I would say, Senator,
The obvious answer is yes. Should parents and schools of Colorado be prepared for more measles outbreaks as a result of that, Mr. Secretary?
Senator,
How about more mumps outbreaks?
I do not anticipate a change in the MMR vaccine. ACIP is an independent panel. So,
Well, it's a panel you just put those folks on. Far from what you said, they're people with ideas that are completely outside the mainstream.
you mean out of the pharmaceutical paradigm?
Let me just say, Mr. Secretary, all these vaccines that we're talking about today are free and accessible to parents today in America who have the freedom to be able to make that choice for their children. Will that be true after your handpicked panel makes their judgments about these vaccines?
I think that parents should be free to,
I know you've said that before. I do too.
to make
But
their own
you're-
choices.
So will they be just as free after these?
I assume they will be.
I will hold you to that, Secretary Kennedy, because this is not a podcast. It is the American people's health that's on the line here. This is the last thing, by the way, our parents need when their kids are going back to school, is to have the kind of confusion and expense and scarcity that you're creating as a result of your ideology. I think it's critical for you to share the evidence that this panel will rely on. Will you give the American people 6 months or 6 weeks in advance the record that they're going to rely on to make these decisions? Will you make it transparent for the American people?
All the evidence is transparent.
Will
All
you
the
make it
evidence-
in advance transparent for the American people so they can comment on it?
all the evidence is transparent for the first time in history, and you were never there complaining when the pharmaceutical companies were picking those people and then running their products.
You can characterize it any way you want. I quoted them today. What I said was accurate. What you said were lies. You
Are you
described
saying,
people
Senator,
moving the Titanic.
Senator, are you saying that a mRNA vaccine has never been associated with myocarditis or pericarditis in teenagers?
I am simply.
Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I am simply trying to say that the people that you have put on that panel, after firing the entire.
You're evading the question.
No, I'm asking the questions here,
You're
Mr.
evading
Kennedy.
that question.
I'm asking the questions,
I
Mr.
asked you a
Kennedy.
question.
I'm asking the questions for Mr. Kennedy on behalf of parents and schools and teachers all over the United States of America who deserve so much better than your leadership. That's what this conversation is about, Mr. Chairman.
Senator, they deserve the truth, and that's what we're going to give them for the first time in the history of that agency.
Senator Cassidy. Thank you. I'll try and restore a little calm here. And I'm approaching this as a doctor, not as a senator.
Now, this is the Republican doctor who had so many problems with, Kennedy when it came time for his confirmation because he is I think he's a emergency room doctor, and so he wanted you guys to take him so seriously as he then saw all the shit that this motherfucker did not know about health and wellness, and he pushed him through anyway. But let's listen to him a little.
I am concerned about children's health, seniors' health, all of our health. And I applaud you for joining the president in a call for radical transparency. Thank you for that. I said yesterday, I believe it, that President Trump deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed. If he had been President Obama, he would have gotten it. But because of Operation Warp Speed, forcing the federal government. Okay,
so if he had been the black President Obama, he would have got it. The undeserving President Obama, he would have got it because the only reason that this white man is not excelling in his job as presidency is because of DEI. Is that what it is? DEI. DEI prevents this numbskull in office from receiving a Nobel Peace Prize, or was it the fact that no one nominated him for it? I mean, the process is easy. The process is very easy. Some of your peers have to nominate you for it, but now we are bringing it into partisanship. And after he just congratulated him on being in an administration of transparency. What are the Epstein files?
Government to come to a vaccine development within 10 months when others said it couldn't be done. We saved millions of lives globally, trillions of dollars. We reopened economies, an incredible accomplishment. Mr. Secretary, do you agree with me that the president deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed?
Yeah, absolutely, Senator. That was phenomenal.
Let me ask you, but you just told Senator Bennett that the COVID vaccine killed more people than COVID.
Wait,
That was a statement.
I did not say that.
Okay, then let me ask, because you also...
Senator, I just want to make clear, I did not say that.
We'll check the record. That's a question of fact. You also said that you were also, as lead attorney for the Children's Health Defense, you engaged in multiple lawsuits attempting to restrict access to the COVID vaccine. Again, it surprises me that you think so highly of Operation Warp Speed when, as an attorney, you attempted to restrict access. Let me ask.
I'm happy to explain why.
I have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. It also surprises me because you've canceled, or HHS did, but apparently under your direction, $500 million in contracts using the mRNA vaccine platform that was critical to Operation Warp Speed. Again, an accomplishment that I think President Trump should get a Nobel Prize for. You canceled $500 million in contracts. Now, I grew up in a middle-class family, so $500 million seems, this is canceled, it seems like an incredible waste of money. But it also seems like a commentary upon what the president was attempting, what the president did in Operation Warp Speed, which is to create a platform by which to create vaccines. So this just seems
500 million.
inconsistent that you would agree with me the president deserves a tremendous amount of credit for this.
Is this a question, Senator Cassidy, or is this a speech? You don't want me to
No, I'm
answer, because
asking-
I want to answer that question.
Please.
If it's a question.
But be tight, please.
First of all, the reason that Operation Warp Speed was genius is it did something nobody had ever been done. I don't think any president, but President Trump could do it. It got the vaccine to market that was perfectly matched to the virus at that time when it was badly needed, because there was low natural immunity and there were people getting very badly injured by COVID. And then, but it was also brought in therapeutics like hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin and protocols for treatments.
Oh, there were other things. Well, when he got COVID, how come he didn't take those other things? How come he wasn't on a horse dewormer, ivermectin?
And there were no mandates. And
Okay, I have another question, so please.
That's when I began litigating against President Biden's mandates. Now,
I'm sorry, let me go on because
in terms
you've
of
covered
me
the mandates
canceling those
before.
contracts,
I have limited time, Mr. Secretary, I'm sorry. You've called for...
Okay. Now he said that they were President Biden's mandate. I remember under 45, 47, there were states making mandates. Now, Florida made no mandate, of course. Florida had no mask mandate, but different states. Now, all of a sudden, when mandates were made by states, all of a sudden, was it a mandate that we stay home? Was that under Biden too when the COVID outbreak happened under 45, 47? See, they think that the magic pill is to lie and say other people were in office when certain things happened. Let's continue.
And rightly so, that we should restrict participation in agencies for those with conflict of interest. I would like to submit for the record a evaluation of the conflict of interest of those who are on the ACIP and the Vaccines and Related Biologic Products Advisory Board. It was not 97% as alleged, rather it was 6.9%, and it was 1.2%, I think, for the other panel.
Without objection.
Now, I am concerned, though, because many of those whom you have nominated for the ACIP board... Excuse me, can I have my time back?
Yes.
Yeah. What I am concerned about is that many of those whom you've nominated for ACIP have received revenue as serving as expert witnesses for plaintiffs' attorneys suing vaccine makers. Now, one of my colleagues in another setting alleged that you seem more interested in...
So, if they are expert witnesses on people who are suing vaccine companies, are they not anti-vaxxers? Okay. Real simple.
Settlements than science. If we put people who are paid witnesses for people suing vaccines, that actually seems like a conflict of interest. Real quickly, do you agree with that?
No, I don't.
You're stupid.
It may be a bias, and that bias, if disclosed, is okay.
Okay, so it may be a bias, but that bias is okay for people who are determining the protocols for health and human service in the United States. You heard it from his mouth. I didn't tell you this. That's why I like to watch this stuff.
It's not
So
a
if the
financial,
bias is
it's not a
disclosed,
financial
expert
conflict.
witnesses.
It's not a financial
Let me finish
conflict
up.
of
Let me
interest.
finish up. You also told Senator Wyden at the outset that you didn't want to take vaccines away from people. And as I conclude, I would like to say this. Because of the conflicting recommendations made about COVID. This is from Eric Erickson, good conservative out of Atlanta, Georgia, occasionally gives me help. My wife has stage 4 lung cancer. She's one of the people the COVID vaccine actually helps. Thanks to the current mess at HHS, CVS is unable to get her vaccine. Secondly, an email from a physician friend of mine. Hey, Bill, I'm not even sure what I'm asking you, but we're all confused and concerned about who can get the COVID vaccine. We are having our attorney try and render an opinion, but there's no firm guidance and concerned about liability if vaccines are given to a patient requested but not on the current CDC list. Pharmacists are requiring a prescription now even for patients over 65, creating a huge headache. I submit these for the record.
Without objection.
I would say effectively we're denying people vaccine.
Senator Kennedy.
Okay, so I reported on this story either earlier this week or last week that you will no longer be able to go to a drugstore and get a COVID vaccine as you were a month ago. 2 months ago, because this has been enacted that only that pregnant women cannot get the COVID vaccine, and I think it was pregnant women and children. Now, even to get the vaccine from CVS, Walgreens, any drugstore, you have to have a prescription. You're denying people the vaccine. Period. Now, this is the Republican who's trying to halfway wax his tongue 45-47 ass, but then having to have to tell the actual truth on how this person is negatively enforcing propaganda on the American people's health.
Well,
You're wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Following up on that same
He said, you're wrong. He's not wrong. Those are facts. You're wrong. No. Okay.
line as Senator Cassidy, because that's exactly, I represent one of the most science-based states in the country. That is percentage of scientists per capita. And at your confirmation hearing, we asked about this, whether you would follow science. You've made a statement here today in your testimony that you would follow science, and yet you're not following science, and that's what Senator Cassidy's question was. It's a simple yes or no answer. Do you think the president deserves to get a prize for warp speed in the mRNA technology that saved so many lives? And you won't answer that question.
I answered it.
No, you're saying that there are problems with what was interpreted. You could say yes. You should say
I said the president also deserves a Nobel Prize, but our mRNA vaccines that we're working on, the ones that we canceled, which are for upper respiratory infections alone, are those.
You canceled $500 million of research because the mRNA technology is about continuing the research to be ready for the next flu, influenza, the next pandemic, and you have to do the research.
I'm happy to have a detailed discussion with you about it. You're so wrong.
And let's be clear. All of these respiratory illnesses, they mutate. So one cure does not fit all, because that is the nature of these MNR diseases, that they mutate. There is a different strain of COVID, of flu, of the cold, of influenza, all the time, because it's called mutation. See, anybody who is working in the health field understands this. Any scientist understands this. But we have a crackpot in this position.
You're interrupting me, and sir, you're a charlatan. That's what you are. You're the ones who conflate chronic disease with the need for vaccines. The history on vaccines is very clear. This is the 20th century. That's how many people had vaccines and had illnesses. This is the 21st century. This is the decrease, 99% down to 100%. This is what was delivered with vaccines. And you don't want to support that. You don't want to support that evidence. So yes, the governors of the West, Washington, Oregon, and California, will take up the efficacy of science. Yes, the University of Washington will deliver the science that America will depend on, because you don't want to depend on it. And his own Surgeon General of the Trump administration said over 2 million lives were saved because of the mRNA technology, and you don't want to continue that. You don't want to continue that technology. So what country is going to now take up that technology lead? What country is going to do that? Leaving us more vulnerable to some other country, keeping the advantage on having the best technology. So I'm telling you, I represent a state that's about technology. I have two other quick questions for you.
These questions or statements? Because I can answer that question if it's actually a question.
Do you believe in having the ACA and the support for the ACA that is about to expire? Do you believe in doing something about that?
In terms of the enhanced premium tax credits,
Yes.
the Democrats had two chances to make them permanent, and they didn't. And they didn't
We're
for
the
a
ones
reason.
we're the ones who delivered it. So
Well, her question was, do you plan to do anything about it? You, not what the Democrats had a chance to do. She's asking you now that you have the chance. Now, let's continue.
They
asking
didn't for a
yes or no,
reason.
do you want to do something about this? Yes.
I want to fix the system, and that's what we're doing, fixing systematically to make premiums lower. That's what President Trump wants to do.
Do you think the women on the steps of the Capitol were a hoax yesterday?
I don't know about any women on the steps of the Capitol.
The women who were talking about Epstein, do you think they were a hoax yesterday?
Do I think they were
Do you think they were perpetrating a hoax yesterday?
perpetuating a hoax?
Yeah.
I have no idea what they were saying. This is the first I'm hearing about it.
You're hearing about the women on the Capitol steps saying that they believe that the Epstein information should be made public. That's the first you're hearing about it. What I'm saying is
What I'm asking is, are you still getting high? Are you are in this administration at the highest level of this administration, and this is the first time that you heard about the women on the steps of the Capitol as 47 is inside meeting with the president of Poland and having jets fly over their press conference outside, and this is the first you're hearing about it. Are you still getting high? Is my question.
perpetrating hoaxes. You, as the Secretary of Health, so you're undermining the whole healthcare delivery system, and you keep trying to point to chronic disease, but you're not putting solutions on the table to cover more Americans, and you're taking away the science and technology that has made us the leader that has saved, according to the first Trump administration Surgeon General, millions of lives, and you don't want to keep that going. So no, I don't support your continued efforts as Secretary, and I definitely think that our colleagues need to rally around science. If you want the Northwest to just continue to lead on all innovation and all healthy people, okay, we'll do that. But it's a sad statement for the rest of America and America's leadership on technology. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Warner.
Mr. Secretary, I agree with a lot of my colleagues' statement. I actually had hoped. I didn't support you. I thought taking on chronic illnesses was going to be important. I've got 2 kids, as we discussed when we met, that have chronic illnesses. I'm not sure that the focus on red dye and seed oils are going to fully solve that problem.
Of course they won't.
I would say this, that seems where your emphasis is. I want to go back to just, again, some basic facts. Do you accept the fact that 1 million Americans died from COVID?
I don't know how many died.
You're the Secretary of Health and Human Services. You don't have any idea how many Americans died from COVID?
I don't think
No, wow. That if you guys are not scared about the things that are going to be withheld from you scientifically and medically, you should be. It really just seems like this administration wants to thin the herd of actual living Americans, and the old people are on the list first. People with any pre-existing illnesses, they are on, and your children. Let's continue.
anybody knows that because there was so much data chaos coming out of the CDC, and there was so many perverse incentives. And these are model
You don't know the answer of how many Americans died from COVID. This is the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Do you think the vaccine did anything to prevent additional deaths?
Again, I would like to see the data and talk about the data.
You have had this job for 8.
You've been in this job for 8 months. If you wanted to see the data, you have had every opportunity to see any point of data, any classified points of data, if you wanted to see the data. You have no curiosity. You are stuck in propaganda, bullshit, science, for-profit on these non-proven pseudoscience cures for disease. You're oh my God, a whole charlatan, as she said.
Months, and you don't know the data about whether the vaccine saved
And that's
lives?
the problem, is that they didn't have the data. The data by the Biden administration absolutely dismal.
Okay. Now we're back to the data by the Biden administration. Are we clear that warp speed happened under 45, 47? What about that data? These millions of lives, 2 million of lives, we are to believe happened under the Biden administration after the vaccine had already been given, and most of the United States had taken the vaccine. So and there was no data under 45, 47. Get the fuck out of my face.
Who is politicizing? You're saying the Biden administration politicized all the data? Go back to what Senator Cantwell just said. Go to Trump, Surgeon General.
They fired Dr. Grubb. They fired all the people who questioned the orthodoxy. They fired Dr. Gruber, Dr. Kaus.
So, Mr. Chairman, the Secretary of Health and Human Services doesn't know how many Americans died from COVID. Doesn't know if the vaccine helped prevent any deaths. And you were sitting as Secretary of Health and Human Services? How can you be that ignorant? Like, you know, I remember when we went through the hearing with you, I asked you about community health centers. You didn't know what role they play. I've been visiting community health. I'm glad you got to one. I think in April. I tell you what I hear on community health centers, they are terrified, with all due respect to my good friend, the chairman, of the big awful bill, because they are going to lose health care across the board. They already live in food deserts. They can't get to a nutritionist because Medicaid doesn't do enough reimbursement. If you're going to want Americans to get healthier, should they have access to nutritionists? Should they have access to good science about healthy food?
Absolutely.
Well, then how is that going to happen with the Medicaid cuts that are taking place?
There are no cuts to Medicaid.
Sir, that is an absurd. There's not a single, some Republican.
There are no cuts to Medicaid. Is he still getting high? Is my question. Because we are clear that between 13 and 17 million people are going to lose Medicaid. They have set the date to happen after the midterm election so that they can come out here and continue to lie. But after the midterm elections, watch the cuts. Watch the hospital closing in rural areas where you're going to have to drive hundreds of miles. Watch the clinics that are going to be closing. Watch the clinics that are not going to be treating people because people are unable to get Medicaid. Let's be clear.
College, there's not a single study that does not, I can tell you, I was in Franklin, Virginia a couple days ago. The rural hospital is going to close. The hospital system was so afraid they wouldn't even let me have the meeting there. But that rural hospital is going to close. And they are looking for where those folks are going to go. I mean, you're supposed to be doing healthcare policy, not being the doctor in residence for all of America. I hope I can just say, I'm still going to trust my doctor rather than your health advice. And obviously, Tom Cotton's going to, who knows who he's going to trust. But let me go back to policy for a couple, so maybe we'll lower the temperature a little bit. I got a bipartisan bill that would be a systemic fix, not a vote buying mechanism when Medicaid's getting cut, what was put in on the rural hospitals. One of the things we could do, Mr. Secretary, is make sure that the folks who work in rural hospitals get an 80% reimbursement of what folks get in more urban centers. Would you support that legislation?
Are you talking about the area wage index?
I'm talking about the area wage index and moving that up to 80%. So there is actually ability to get rural providers.
President Trump supports that, and we support.
You support. Good. So you will work with us to get that passed.
Yes.
That will increase costs on both Medicaid and Medicare. So you are committed to that. I appreciate that. What about Senator Wyden and I've got?
Okay, so it really doesn't matter what he agrees to in these hearings, as we understand that a lot of the stuff that he said during his confirmation hearing, once he got the job, he did not do anything about it. So do you think that he is just trying to get the heat off of his ass and saying that he agrees to do that? Nobody believes this.
Bill, because across America,
What about what?
hospitals are shutting down on their OBGYN services. Try to have a baby. I don't know about in all of my other French states, but in Southside Virginia, you can't find a hospital. Will you work with us to make sure that before OBGYN services are taken out of a rural hospital, there has to be a process and procedure?
I'm happy to work with you on that, Senator, meet with you and see if we can work with you on it. I don't know exactly.
That's not a yes. I'm happy to work with you, meet with you, see what we can do. That's not that. That's a unequivocally no position.
What the issue is.
Well, again, the Secretary of Health and Human
To see what the position is, he just told you what the position is. I'm happy to work with you, meet with you, to see what the position is. So that would be no.
Services, who has said he doesn't know how many people died from COVID, doesn't know if the vaccine saved lives, doesn't understand the issue of OBGYN are fleeing rural America because they can't afford it. And what the cuts that are coming up is going to be exponentially worse. I would invite you, sir, to come with me to a community health center in Virginia and hear what is on people's mind. They want to get healthier? Absolutely. Count me in. But they also don't want their basic health care removed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, let me stall on this for a second, and let me show you this about Florida. I will share this from the Attorney General of Florida. Since we're talking about the COVID vaccine and not being able to have access to a vaccine. So here we go. Let me share this with you right quick.
Florida is planning to axe all vaccine mandates, including the ones for school children. And the state surgeon general used this metaphor to justify it.
The Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them. All of them. Every last one of them. Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery.
In all 50 states, they've had school immunization requirements since the 80s. Now, this change would make Florida the first state to end the longstanding and constitutionally upheld practice of requiring certain vaccines for students. The Florida chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics said today the move will put children in the state's public schools at higher risk for getting sick, which will have a ripple effect in the community. The CDC study also shows that routine childhood vaccines, like the ones included in school mandates, will have prevented millions of illnesses, hospitalizations, deaths, all while saving billions in direct access costs. Joining the conversation for this one is Dr. Chris Purnell. She's the director of the NAACP Center for Health Equity and Public Health and Preventative Medicine physician. And Dr. Purnell, you know this well. In 2020, we had 13 cases of measles. 2025, 1,400. A huge increase in whooping cough in this country. And at the same time, the rates of vaccine exemptions have gone up by about a point since 2019. None of this is by accident. None of this is by osmosis. And now this in Florida.
Reckless. If I could sum it up in one word, let's just go to some facts, and I have them here to keep myself honest. Since the last 30 years, we've saved over 150 million lives because of vaccines globally. If we begin to think about in the United States, we've saved over 1.1 million children due to vaccinations since 1994. We've prevented 508 million illnesses and 32 million hospitalizations. That's not anything to wink at. That's hardcore data. But what's happening in the United States is as if we are a runaway train. In public health, we talk about the cliff of good health, and we have fallen completely off of the cliff.
That's kind of what it feels like in a way, Ben, that everybody sitting at this table, all the folks in Florida, all of these people who are vaccine skeptics now have benefited from vaccines allowing them to live their lives without polio, without measles. And now all of a sudden they want to pull the rug out from underneath children. I'm surprised by it. I mean, you have kids, a lot of us do at this table. If you lived in Florida, what would you be thinking?
I think two things. One,
I do not want to hear from this fucking idiot right here. I want you to hear. Let me see. Let's see this data.
But he's also responsible for a lot of misinformation. He's altered key findings in a COVID-19 vaccine safety study.
Malpractice.
He pushed things like cures like ivermectin and others for COVID.
Did ivermectin not work?
No.
You have data that shows that it did work.
No.
He is pushing
We have
all of those
conclusive
other
data that it does not work.
Now, this is a non-doctor. He's sitting up here with a doctor who's telling him, no, that is not a cure. And he continues to repeat, doesn't it work? Doesn't it work? Okay. Let's get right here. Let's get right here.
And this is what he said about vaccines at the time. His own vaccine, by the way, that he helped develop.
Tell parents about getting their kids vaccinated. Measles, I'm the measles. Tell parents about vaccinations. They have to get the shot. The vaccinations are so important. This is really going around now. They have to get their shots.
So that, on measles, Trump in 2019 was get your measles vaccine. Operation Warp Speed, some people say he should be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Fair argument to make. But now all of a sudden, this is about being lied to when people did not know a whole lot about COVID at the time.
Let's take a big picture view.
I don't want to hear from Dan Abrams trying to be slick, racist ass either. If you guys are into Dan Abrams, he has been fired, if I'm not mistaken, several times for being a hack ass, racist ass motherfucking producer of cop shows and wanting to be entertained by black people being arrested. I'm trying to see if the Nina Turner response is in here to this statement. Let me see. You look at that face. Ooh, look at that face. Oh, I think she's speaking. Is she speaking now?
Give vaccinations with chattel slavery.
Here we go.
Gloria.
Because they're just stupid. They're just very lack IQ. I don't know. It's not that hard of a concept to understand, but they seem not to be able to understand it.
Troubling in this whole debate is the fact that we do have to collectively make a certain level of sacrifice, and getting vaccinations are part of that sacrifice with a glorious outcome for the majority with a few exceptions. And to see the president, the leaders in Florida play political games of vaccinations, to see people cheer this on, not really understanding the full impact of what this is going to do for political expediency. And the second point, very irrational, irresponsible for him to compare people having to get vaccinations with chattel slavery. There are no other atrocities. They would never make that comparison when it comes to the Holocaust, but you want to make that comparison when it comes to chattel slavery. It is reprehensible that he would do that, or anybody would do that, that cavalier nature. And all it continues to do is amp up the animus in this country for reasons
Can
that...
we talk about Florida?
Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. That is Couch Politics. I dropped the link in the chat. Go over there and check him out. He routinely does compare and contrast of Abby Phillips' show, where they have the same repugnant Republicans on here holding the line, even with smirks and smiles on their face, not being too able to take themselves seriously. But CNN insists on paying these people because it's a rotating panel of the same people talking the same dumb shit. Go over there and check out Couch Politics if you're not familiar with him. Do you guys want to move on, or do you want to see RFK Jr. Get some more foot in the ass? If you guys want to move on, we can move on. Now, let's see who's next. I definitely don't want to hear that ass kisser. Okay, let's see.
Trump administration wants to lower the cost of health insurance. That across the country right now, the median increase from commercial insurers that we're seeing this fall is 18%, just as families are struggling to make ends meet. Now, I want to follow up on a line of questioning that Senator Cassidy began. Mr. Secretary, President Trump said that the COVID-19 vaccine produced by Operation Warp Speed was, and these are the president's words, a monumental national achievement. Although I have strongly opposed many of President Trump's actions, I agree with him that Operation Warp Speed in 2020 was a monumental achievement. Unfortunately, you are undermining one of the president's biggest achievements, which, as the president said, saved millions of American lives. You even went as far as to call President Trump weak for this life-saving accomplishment. Last year, you tweeted that President Trump has a weakness for swamp creatures and that Operation Warp Speed was among, here's your quote again, the most devastating impact of President Trump's weakness. So, Mr. Secretary, was Operation Warp Speed a monumental national achievement, as President Trump said?
For the reason that I already said, and I assume you won't let me repeat, but I'm happy to if you don't mind. Yes, it was.
Good. Assuming it.
So, what are we to believe about your statements a year ago? Oh, he cannot believe. He has nothing to say about his statements a year ago, though. Only to turn back and to turn the Department of Health and Human Services into his beliefs a year ago. Notwithstanding his ass licking and boot licking to get a position in this administration. You get what he did there? Do you get what he did there? He's still practicing his crockpot beliefs in medicine while licking ass to get a position in the administration. Let's continue.
Is a monumental achievement. You've said it was. Is it true that, as President Trump has said, he saved millions of American lives with the COVID-19 vaccine? Because you just expressed great confusion about that to Senator Warner.
The only confusion I expressed is exactly how many lives were saved. I don't think anybody knows that because of the data chaos.
So multiple studies have shown that the vaccine reduced infections and severe diseases and saved at least 3 million lives in the United States and millions more abroad in the first 2 years of the pandemic.
It's possible those are modeling studies.
I will also note this, that you've been talking about data and concern about it. The process for COVID vaccine approval was public, it was live streamed, and it was out in the open. Manufacturers and experts have publicly submitted data analysis, and when the FDA has asked for more, they've submitted more. They've done that for years, and the evidence is clear and supports what President Trump has said. The vaccine works, and it has saved millions of lives. Your own process, on the other hand, has not been transparent. You repeatedly choose to ignore data because it doesn't match your preconceived notions and lies. So you have said that the vaccine did save lives. You've said it was a monumental achievement. And given that, if you agree with President Trump that the vaccine saved millions of lives, why have you acted behind closed doors to overrule scientists and limit the freedom of parents to choose the COVID vaccine for their children? Why have you done that?
For the COVID vaccine, I was removed by FDA because the industry.
No, it was behind closed doors.
No,
and scientists who said they wanted to brief you on the science, scientists who wanted to understand why the FDA, why you unilaterally changed the parameters for giving vaccines, making it possible now, to Senator Cassidy's colleagues' points, that they're going to have to go off-label.
This is crazy talk.
To prescribe a vaccine for children. I'm not making things up. Do you know how the FDA approval process works and what?
Yeah, I do. I know exactly.
Do you know what an off-label prescription is?
I know exactly how it works. I know exactly how it works.
So why behind closed doors?
It's not behind closed doors. The industry makes the studies, and they could not provide a study that said that it is effective for healthy kids.
So when have you produced the data that you relied on, and that this FDA relied on to change those parameters? You did it behind closed doors.
No, the data's all public.
Now parents who decide that they do want their children to have
You're just making stuff up, Senator.
I'm not
You're just making stuff up.
You know, sometimes when you make an accusation It's kind of a confession, Mr. Kennedy. So let's just settle with this. So here's what's going to happen. To Senator Warner's point, to the parents who are concerned all around the country, to people who want to get the COVID vaccine this fall, even if they're under 65, because the boosters have worked, there's been much less serious disease. People do not have the same level of threat and risk from COVID that they used to because of these vaccines. People who want to exercise their freedom of choice are being denied that because you are citing data that you won't produce to the public. And you are objecting.
You're making things up to scare people, and it's a lie.
With respect, I do not think I'm the one making things up.
You are lying right now, Senator.
Senator Barrasso. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
He's calling her a lie. She's holding up his words, and he is pissed and mad about it. But he's gonna get a little madder. We're not gonna go to this ass liquor. The link is in the description box. You are able to peruse it at your leisure. I just want to get some of the good shots. Let me see, who is this? He may be
corrupted. Here's data, and I'd like to enter this sheet into the record. I've been publishing this chart for since really early 2021. When I'm on, for example, talk radio shows and they armored by big food. Just I want to give you, I'm sorry, just the last minute to first of all defend yourself, but talk about the corruption of science.
So far, no place. And forgive my impatience. A lot of trauma center flying right over St. Anne's Hospital.
From recess on this, Senator Whitehouse is recognized for questions.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I want to talk to you about Rhode Island. When you were last sitting there, here's what I said to you. I want to read it back to you because I want it to sink in. CMS has for years maintained a reimbursement system that the bureaucracy could never explain, never justify, that persistently pays Rhode Island providers less than neighboring Massachusetts and Connecticut providers, a difference of 23 and 26% in our regional healthcare market. Rhode Island's healthcare system is bleeding out because we aren't paid what neighboring hospitals and doctors are paid. And the one act that CMS took on this issue years ago was to make it worse. I raised that with you then. I've raised it since with Dr. Oz. I've raised it with CMMI Director Sutton. I would like to get action from CMS on that. One partial avenue of relief for Rhode Island is the AHEAD program. Rhode Island is a willing voluntary participant in the AHEAD program. Coming behind Rhode Island is Connecticut. What remains to be seen is whether the payment rates agreed to for Rhode Island will suffer the same discriminatory discount with respect to the AHEAD rates for Connecticut as Connecticut comes through. I've been able to get no assurances from CMS that they care one whit about this payment differential or that they see AHEAD as a means of resolving this injustice. Mr. Kennedy, our healthcare system is teetering as a result of this. This is not a casual matter, and I would really like to see you and Dr. Oz and Mr. Dutton put your attention onto this Rhode Island problem. There is no conceivable justification for paying a hospital in Fall River 23% more than Rhode Island Hospital when Rhode Island Hospital provides more and better services as recognized by the Secret Service, which will take an injured president from Martha's Vineyard to the Rhode Island Hospital Trauma Center, flying right over St. Anne's Hospital in Fall River, yet Fall River gets paid more. It makes no sense and it has to be resolved. The other problem that I mentioned to you is that I'm now in my fourth round of CMMI directors. It's bloody Groundhog Day, trying to get something done about how end-of-life patients are treated. I'm offering Rhode Island as a willing example of how we can do it better. It is idiotic and cruel to force a family to put their dying loved one through 3 days and 2 nights of a hospital before they can put them in a nursing home. It is equally ridiculous to not allow palliative and curative care to happen together. Providing home care when someone is dying, even if they can still get out of the house or into the yard, is a basic thing to ask. And to have respite care be that somebody comes to the house instead of taking a dying family member to a hospital, that's not.
And that is no lie, but black people have always throughout our history have taken care of our own, and but they're doing this so that hospitals can get money. Usually, it used to be before motherfuckers start collecting money for funerals in liquor stores and with pickle jars and car washes and shit. It routinely seniors have some type of life insurance. That used to be the norm. Now, this new breed of begging seniors, it doesn't seem like they try to take care of themselves. So the whole jizz of this is to get money. Not to make the patient comfortable, not to allow the family to care for their own. But it's not a lot of people. Really. We need to take a inside. We really need to look inside ourselves as a people. Now, somebody said it. I think it was QI in. I was in Room Shakers chat before I went live, and I think QI had a good point. QI, yes, she did had a good point that the internet and people only having communications via the internet has not been good for our psyche, for anything that we do, that we have become. And I think that, in a lot of ways we need to check how we are becoming more savagery. I think that we need to check that interpersonal relationships are feigning. We see parents on the internet all day yelling and screaming. Sometimes we even hear their children in the background. We really need to check our interpersonal relationships. Let's go on. Because the fact of the matter is, they are going to try to squeeze every nickel and dime out of you.
Even arrest them. Every single one, Mr. Kennedy, of these waivers has been granted in the past by CMMS and other circumstances. All I want is for somebody to come and work out how we do this in Rhode Island. What is our patient base that we'll do this in? How we put the waivers together? To quote your CMS director, Mr. Oz, he said, as we discussed in your office, we must re-examine how end-of-life care is addressed in this country. I'm offering Rhode Island as an example of how to make it better. I hope you will concede that right now it is not good. So
Senator,
I need you to respond to me. You guys know where to find me. I'm up in the Hart Building.
Yeah.
We've reached out, we've tried for meetings, and the progress in all three of those areas, fixing the payment gap, getting ahead balanced regionally, and following through on our desire to do good things, improving end-of-life care with waivers you guys have already granted, has gotten me so far no place. And forgive my impatience, a lot of it predates you. I put a hold on Biden nominees because I was getting jerked around by your bureaucracy. I'd like it to end and get some progress.
Yeah, Senator, you raised this during my confirmation hearing, and I said to you then, and you were very.
And you still haven't done anything now. He said, you know where his building is. Come see him, bitch. Let's go to her.
I think that is in debate right now. And negotiations. I'm not sure that, Senator, I appreciate the
With executive orders, and
I'd love to meet with you. I'll get Oz in the meeting, and what you're saying, particularly about the end of life, it may be something we can do something about. I want to help, and let me know.
You sound like you
We'll try. Forgive my frustration. You've got 30,000 employees. They could have reached out to me. They know where I live. Yes.
Senator Cortez Masto.
Of course,
Secretary
you're so
Kennedy, thank you for being here. In May, you said, and I quote, "I stand with President Trump to say, no more middlemen, no more foreign freeloaders, no more skyrocketing drug prices. We're putting American patients first and taking on big pharma to make America healthy again." Yet your record tells a different story. In July, Republicans handed big pharma a massive win. Their big, beautiful bill that they just passed shields billion-dollar drugs like Keytruda, the world's top-selling cancer drug, from Medicare negotiation. Keytruda has been on the market since 2014. It pulled in nearly $18 billion last year in the United States alone. It costs patients up to $175,000 a year, draining Medicare of billions and forcing families into crushing debt or to forego life-saving care. And yet you support the big, beautiful bill. So despite the hype with executive orders and Washington Republicans only drug pricing law days relief for Medicare patients relying on high-cost cancer drugs, meanwhile, Democrats finally have allowed Medicare to negotiate drug prices. I will say that Keytruda, along with Opdivo and Darzalex, the three top-selling cancer drugs, were widely expected to be selected for Part B negotiation in 2026 for 2028 implementation. They are now, because of the actions of this administration, exempt from negotiation for at least several additional years, if not permanently. So my question to you, Mr. Secretary, is how do you justify claiming to take on Big Pharma while supporting a bill that shields drugs like Keytruda and other cancer drugs from Medicare negotiation, costing seniors and taxpayers billions, and risking the lives of cancer patients who can't?
Because poor people should die from cancer. The rich people can't afford it, so we're not negotiating on that. We don't want poor people to have this drug. Why would we give poor people this drug? We're trying to off as many people in this administration. Why do you think that I'm at the head of Health and Human Services? Do you think that people want the American people to live?
Cannot afford their necessary medication.
Yeah, Senator, I appreciate the question. The Medicare drug negotiations in the IRA were very well intentioned, but they were poorly structured. And what we found is that there are actually, the negotiations that have occurred actually have ended up raising the costs for Medicare. We are right now in negotiations.
The CBO has not agreed to that. The CBO.
Well, why don't you rewrite them and include these cancer drugs the right way, since you've noticed that?
It's just the opposite. So you're saying the CBO and independent agencies that validate the costs are wrong?
Well, that is CMS data.
Okay, so let's just focus on the cancer drugs. Why aren't we negotiating those, bringing those down for families? Why does the bill exempt those?
Is part of the MFN negotiations. I'm not sure that provision in the bill, of one beautiful bill by the...
You're not sure of the provision, the negotiation provision, and how exempted
for Keytruda?
Your agency is responsible for that negotiation, and you don't know about it?
I know that we're negotiating.
He don't know anything about his agency. They put together a whole big bill with this being included in the bill, and now all of a sudden, I don't know about that. I have to check. I don't know. The Biden administration, they were ill written, and therefore it costs Medicare more money. But you don't know shit about what you should know about. No, you only know shit about what you give a fuck about.
Negotiating in the MFN
Let me ask you, Mr.
negotiations.
Secretary, let me ask you another question. How much are Medicare Part D enrollees expected to pay for prescription drug coverage next year?
Hello?
I think that is in debate right now.
Let me tell you.
Are you talking about the...
They are going to pay 15...
You think it's in debate right now. You have a no answer, so all of a sudden it's in debate right now. It is September. It's in the debate right now. How they're going to pay for prescription drugs in January of next year, and you have no answer.
$50 more than last year, up to $50 a month. Now let me have a question for you on Part B.
Senator, I appreciate the question. The Medicare drug negotiations in the IRA were very well intentioned. I think that is in debate right now.
Let me tell you.
Are you talking about the...
They are going to pay $15 more than last year, up to $50 a month. Now let me have a question for you on Part B. How much are Medicare Part B premiums expected to increase next year?
I don't know. I talked to Dr. Osborne yesterday. I think it's 16%.
It's supposed to increase about 11.6% or $21.50 more each month. And again, last time you were before me, you couldn't answer the questions of the very agency and the authority that you have to address.
Bitch, I'm rich. I ain't got to pay on no Medicare, Medicaid. Bitch, I am rich. Why would I know that shit? What can I do to stop that shit from happening? Shit, I got a job wearing suits and taking pictures. and firing people that are not in line with 4547's agenda.
These issues. Next year, seniors and families are facing higher healthcare costs across the board. 23 million people on Medicare with a standalone Part D drug plan could see their premiums rise to $50 a month, up from $35, because the Trump administration is cutting the federal subsidy that has been keeping costs down. Part B premiums will jump 11.6%.
Wait a minute. Not 4547, who said that he is going to negotiate drug prices down 1,500%. Are you telling me that the drug prices are going up as he stands in front of cameras and says that he's going to he's making drug prices go down 100, 1,500, 1,000%? Really? Something's wrong here. It doesn't make sense.
To $206 a month in 2026, one of the largest single-year increases in decades. And so for an administration that claims it is lowering costs, my question to you is, what are you going to do to keep costs down for seniors?
Nothing.
I'm already doing I'm already keeping costs down.
What are you doing to keep costs down for seniors, knowing that these costs are going to be increasing?
The program integrity bill, that is the first action that I did when I got in. It's one of the earliest actions in history of a complex regulation by an HHS secretary. A Congressional Budget Office has said that that's brought premiums down by 5%. As the Congressional Budget Office, which does not like to acknowledge anything that we do.
And does that impact seniors?
Excuse me?
Does that impact seniors? And I know my time is running out. Does that impact seniors? What you're
I
talking
don't
about,
know.
you're lowering costs. I'm asking you specifically.
We're lowering costs.
Seniors. Does it impact seniors?
Does it impact?
Let me just stop you.
I didn't
Time
hear
is
what
running
you
out,
said.
so I appreciate the chairman's indulgence here. My concern is you can't answer the questions. The very agency has oversight over these issues and controls the levers to lower costs for seniors. And you can't answer that simple question.
I didn't hear your question.
Okay, let's go.
We'll just proceed. And Senator Tillis.
Excuse him. His high price hearing device went out during that question. During that particular question, he had no answer for. Look at the face on this white man back here. It looks like he's in electric shock. It looked like somebody's prodding him with a what do they call that? A cow poke up his butt. He looks like he is so shocked at this foolishness.
Has yielded his position to Senator Blackburn.
And thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Secretary, thank you for joining us.
Definitely will not indulge in her
Of overprescribing.
It's not recommended.
Let's
The COVID-19 vaccine is not.
We don't know the answer to, which is, how did
let's hear from Elizabeth Warren.
these drugs become so common in our society without us even knowing the answer to those questions? That is malpractice at these agencies, and that is the malpractice that I am going to fix.
Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So last November, while you were under consideration to become Secretary of Health and Human Services, Mr. Kennedy, you said, quote, if vaccines are working for somebody, I'm not going to take them away. No exceptions, no ifs, ands, or buts. You would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. Then last week, you announced that the COVID-19 vaccine is no longer approved for healthy people under the age of 65. In announcing the change, you said the vaccine will be available for anyone who wants it. Now, obviously, both things cannot be true at the same moment. So let's clear this up right now, Secretary Kennedy. Will you tell America that all adults and all children over 6 months of age are eligible to get a COVID booster at their local pharmacy today?
Anybody can get the booster.
I'm sorry?
Anybody can get it.
Anybody. So you're saying that is now the official rule of HA?
He said anybody can get it, but he left out that they can get it at their local pharmacy. Let's drill down on that answer.
HS, anybody is eligible to get a booster by just walking into the pharmacy.
It's not recommended for healthy people.
No. If you don't recommend, then the consequence of that in many states is that you can't walk into a pharmacy and get one. It means insurance companies don't have to cover the $200 or so cost. As Senator Dr. Cassidy said, you are effectively denying people vaccines.
We're not going to recommend a product for which there's no clinical data for that indication. Is that what I should be doing?
What you should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going like
and
this.
that is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans.
Well, most of Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacists for free. But what about the rest of them? So that means you're taking it away from the rest of them. Let's be clear.
Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is everyone who wants it. That was your promise.
No, I didn't. I never promised that I was going to recommend products for which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator...
I'm not taking them away from it.
Okay, so she's taking $855, did he say $855,000, $855,000 from Big Pharma. And what the fuck is wait a minute, how much did he say? $855,000 from Big Pharma. But you don't know how much you are saving seniors in Medicaid or Medicare, whichever one you were just asked about. But you don't know what you're supposed to know. But you know something that you think is going to give you a got you moment as your question about the shit you don't know that you're supposed to know.
Secretary,
you want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data? Is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy.
You want me to indicate that people should be able to go into their pharmacy and get a COVID shot that has no data, as I sit up here and say that 45, 47 should get a golden medal, what is it, some fucking medal that he doesn't deserve, and that I go back and forth on if it did or if it did not save lives. But I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it more difficult for anybody who wants the drug to go into their pharmacy, and for insurance companies to have to pay for this drug, so it will be of little cost to the people who want this COVID vaccine. A vaccine. It's not like they want the shit that you used to be shooting up your body. It ain't like you giving them a discount to shoot up some heroin or something. No, you're giving them a discount to shoot up a vaccine, which has proven so far to have worked. Let's continue.
You said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
No, they can't walk into a pharmacy the way they could last month and get access.
It depends on the state.
Now, and let's not be slick for a moment to say that everyone could get access to them, but in some states they will now, since he is not the FDA is not recommending it. Now they have to have a prescription. Now let's talk about the access to doctors from anyone who wants them. Let's talk about people, the uninsured, who may want to make sure they don't get COVID, but they're uninsured. They have no doctor. The unemployed, the poor, the unworking, the people who are getting cut off of Medicaid. Where are they going to find these doctors who are going to just take them into their office and write a prescription for them without the cost of doing regular physicals on them? That costs. Let's talk about that. The cost to actually the wait to actually get a doctor's appointment, a first-time doctor's appointment for people who have no primary care physician. Are we playing in La La Land? See, this is, but I know everybody in this sector is independently wealthy, but I'm talking to the people who have common sense to see beyond this bullshit that they're putting out, as if every American has a primary care physician. Hell, even the ones who do have primary care physicians getting appointments set out way months later. Are we serious? The people who don't have primary care physicians that use a emergency room as their doctor, they can't go to the emergency room and say, hey, I need a prescription for a COVID shot. Let's keep it real. Let's stop living in this la-la land of the richest administration that has ever been assembled, as if everything's peaches and cream. As the unemployment rate in the United States is at its busting point. There are more people looking for jobs than there are jobs available. If you didn't know that, those new numbers came out today. There are absolutely more people looking for jobs than there are jobs available. And they don't want to acknowledge any of this. La 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 la. I don't see this. I don't know this. La 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 la. This is bullshit.
Depends on the states.
A year ago,
but they can still get it. Everybody can get it. Everybody can get it, Senator.
So look, let's move on. You clearly are taking away vaccines. I've seen the list for what's coming up next, and that is the agenda for the next CDC vaccine panel. And first up is ratifying your COVID actions. Second is hepatitis B is on the agenda. So should Americans expect you to take away hepatitis vaccine access as well, even though you promised not to?
As I said, I'm not taking vaccines away from anybody.
Okay, same answer, right? You're just going to deny that when people can't get access, that you're not taking it away. Then let me ask you, is that the same game you're going to play with
well, you want me to recommend every product in the world so that without any clinical trial data?
Through on your promises.
Yeah, my promise was to give.
A month ago, we could get COVID vaccines by just walking.
You can still get COVID vaccines, Senator.
You are taking that away.
No, you are still. You can still get the COVID vaccines, and Medicare will still pay for them, and Medicaid will still pay for them.
Tell the head of the CDC that if she refused to sign off on your changes to the childhood vaccine schedule, that she had to resign.
No, I told her that she had to resign because I asked her, are you a trustworthy person? And she said no. So if you had an employee who told you they weren't trustworthy, would you ask them to resign, Senator?
Okay. Now, what makes more sense? If you don't sign off on this vaccine mandate that I'm changing, you're going to be fired. Or you go to your employee and ask them, are you a trustworthy person? And they say no, and then you fire them. Well, which one makes more sense? And another thing, why would an employer be so concerned about an employee being trustworthy? Trustworthy, why, how, what do you mean trustworthy? What have I, what type of question you just go and ask the employee if they're trustworthy? Are you missing money? Is there some medication missing somewhere? Why would you be asking her that and fire her, and she says no, she's not trustworthy? First of all, if you are not trustworthy, would you say no, I'm not trustworthy? If you're not trustworthy, of course you're going to say, of course I'm trustworthy. What untrustworthy person admits to being untrustworthy? The whole point of being untrustworthy is that you're pretending to be trustworthy. This is bullshit. Let's continue.
So I'm sorry, but this is not what she has said publicly. She has said.
I'm not surprised about that.
So you're saying she's lying?
Yes. Every conversation I had with her, there
and
were
let me get
witnesses.
this straight. This is the same person that less than a month earlier you stood next to her and described her as unimpeachable. And you had full confidence in her, and that you had full confidence in her scientific credentials. And in a month, she became a liar?
Yeah, you should ask her what changed. And by the way, a month ago, you were voting against her. Oh, because you thought she was either incompetent, ineligible, or unsuited to the task.
I voted against her because I was afraid she was going to bend the knee to you and Donald Trump. And it looks like she didn't bend the knee, so you fired her. Look. You're putting America's babies' health at risk, America's seniors' health at risk, all Americans' health at risk, and you should resign.
Senator Sanders.
Oh, Bernie Sanders.
Just want to pick up on Senator
I don't know how this went. I didn't get this far. Let's go through this real quick.
Ward's point. Are you telling us that the former head of CDC went to you, you asked her, are you a trustworthy person? And she said, no, I am not a trustworthy person?
She didn't say, no, I'm not a trustworthy person. She said, no. Wow. A quote.
Okay, so she said no. She said no to the question is she was a trustworthy person. So in essence, her saying no is saying no, I'm not a trustworthy person. Why did you try to distinguish that? Are you serious? My question is, are you still on that hash? Are you still on that shit? That's what I want to know.
And I asked her, no, 1 second. And you're also repeating now that she is a liar, correct? Which you wrote in the Wall Street Journal.
If she wrote that I fired her because she refused to sign on in advance for the ASIP committee, no, that's not accurate.
All right, so you're calling her a liar, and I look forward to her coming before the Health Committee, maybe this committee as well. All right, Mr. Secretary, I've got a bunch of questions. Appreciate brevity in answering it. So-called beautiful bill threw 15 million Americans off of health care, substantially raised premiums, and is going to have a terrible impact on nursing homes, community health centers, rural hospitals all over America. Very briefly, is that really making America healthy again?
It's going to be the biggest infusion of federal dollars into rural health care in American history.
Yeah, you know why? Because you're cutting $150 billion for rural hospitals. You're putting $50 billion back. That's not an infusion. That's a loss of $100 billion. All right, next question. President Trump, who I don't usually agree with, called COVID vaccines, quote, one of the greatest miracles in the history of modern day medicine that saved tens of millions of lives worldwide. Scientific community agrees with Trump. Lancet study found that it prevented almost 20 million deaths during their first year of use. Secretary Kennedy, President
that 20 million would be worldwide.
Trump and the medical community right, or do you still believe that the COVID vaccine was, quote, the deadliest vaccine ever made?
No, first of all, I didn't say that. I said that in terms of affairs reports a while ago. I said today, I think that President Trump should get the Nobel Prize.
So who's right? Is Trump in the medical community right, or are you right?
President Trump did an extraordinary piece of leadership.
Is he right or wrong? Did COVID save millions of lives?
As I said, he got Americans back to work. At that time, that particular vaccine, which perfectly matched the virus that was circulating then, and I have no idea how many lives it saved, but it saved quite a few.
You know, what I find a little bit weird in this.
What other virus would it be perfectly matched to? This was the first outbreak of COVID. So why wouldn't the vaccine be perfectly matched to the strain of COVID that was out then? But we are clear and we do understand that, like every virus, the COVID virus has mutated away from the virus that it was back then. You see, that's what scientists understands about viruses. So you trying to hem-haw about it was perfect for the virus back then. So now I'm gonna close down all our MNR research because it's not aligned with my ignorance. Let's continue. Just dumb, Lena. Just Lena.
Discussion. I'm hearing it over and over again this morning, Mr. Chairman. We've got the entire medical community on one side. You got the AMA representing hundreds of thousands of doctors, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Public Health Association. All of these organizations are telling us that COVID vaccine and vaccines in general are safe and effective. You are casting doubt on that. Who are the organizations that are agreeing with you and casting aspersions on vaccines?
The primary advisors are Marty McCary, Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Oz, Vinay Prasad.
So you got a few doctors who agree with you, and I'm giving you the
Not a few doctors. What you're talking about is there's a big difference, Senator, between established science and the scientific establishment, which has been co-opted by the pharmaceutical industry.
So you're telling the American people that the American Medical Association, representing hundreds of thousands of people, have been co-opted and that they should not trust their doctors. And the American Academy of Pediatrics, and by the way, just for the record, every single Republican, I don't mean to be political here, Mr. Chairman, has received PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. Are they all corrupt as well?
And I'm telling you, the American Heart Association has been co-opted by the food industry.
Everybody but you, Senator. But you know what? When you ran for president, we have a corrupt campaign finance system. Maybe you'll agree with me on that. Okay, you were already president, you got $1.5 billion behind it. You received $300,000 from people, not from the industry, people in it, as I did, from individuals. You corrupt. President Trump got $3 million. Every Republican got corporate PAC money for the pharmaceutical industry. Democrats as well. Everybody is corrupt, but you? Is that what we're looking at? I don't think so. And I think the issue now...
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking
how can you not know what he's talking about? Do you not speak English? You notice all of this. I don't know what you're talking about. You know exactly what he's talking about. He didn't say that you took PAC money. He said you, like him, took money from individuals when you were running. But now all of a sudden you don't know what he's talking about when you try to smear the medical administration and all these administration who have done data that you act as if does not exist about the COVID vaccine, and you come up here and quote, it took you a while to start quoting where you got your facts from 3 individual people, and Dr. Oz being one of those people that you quoted. Are you serious? Let's continue.
The issue is every time anyone
Are you saying the pharmaceutical industry was supporting my presidential campaign?
I'm saying,
I don't think so.
I'm not saying.
He clearly said, he clearly did not say that. So this is a ruse.
That. I'm saying the pharmaceutical industry is a greedy institution which is charging us the highest prices in the world. They are pervasive. But to suggest that every institution, the AMA, the pediatrics people, is corrupt because they disagree with you is an insult to the American people.
People disagree with me all the time. I have arguments in my agency, heated arguments every day with Jay Bhattacharya, with Marty McCary, with Dr. Oz.
You have given me the names of a few people. I've given you the names of organizations representing hundreds of thousands of doctors and scientists. I yield, Mr. President.
Senator Tillis. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Secretary Kennedy, thank you for being here. A couple of times you asked people if they were making a statement or a question. What I think I may do, just to give you a breather, is to make a statement with a lot of questions. And just for the record, I'd like for you to have the opportunity to have your staff respond. I can't...
to avoid a vaccination, but in a podcast...
You do that on your own time, motherfucker. The link is in my chat if you
here
guys want to hear
for the last many minutes.
The people who I'm passing by.
And listened carefully to your testimony. And I think actually Senator Tillis laid out so many of the ways that what you have said has contradicted yourself and others. It's, I mean, I don't even know where to start. So I'm going to start here. Over the last 8 months, you have claimed to make America healthy again. But in actual fact, you have led the charge in the Trump administration to destroy what is best in our healthcare system. And your denials and your evasion and your lies here do not change that. You are the Secretary of the Health and Human Services, yet you're trafficking in these fringe idea and discredited theories that are completely out of step with the scientific consensus. And you seem to be willing to say anything in the moment, even if it's untrue. So last time you were before Congress, Secretary Kennedy, you claimed, and I quote, "I have never been anti-vax. I have never told the public to avoid a vaccination." But in a podcast, you said the opposite. You said there's no vaccine that is safe and effective. So that sure sounds anti-vax to me, Secretary Kennedy. So let me ask you, when were you lying, sir? When you told this committee that you were not anti-vax, or when you told Americans that there's no safe and effective vaccine?
Both things are true.
Oh, so more denial, more back and forth. I mean, here's what I know. Here's what I know.
Explain why, Senator. You just
no, actually, I want you to listen to me.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you can't explain your foolishness. Nobody wants to hear how you are trying to thread the needle with thread that has a knot in it, bitch.
I want you to listen to me, because I've been listening to you. You said that ACIP is an independent panel after you stocked it with your picks. You said that you want evidence-based science, but it seems that what you mean is evidence that supports your view, not the scientific consensus. I mean, you dared to sit there and call my colleague from New Hampshire a liar when she presented you with facts that don't support your view of the world. It's incredible. But let me move on. Just last week, in the days after the tragic shooting at Annunciation Catholic School in my home state of Minnesota, you went on Fox News blaming school shootings on antidepressants. You have no evidence of that because you have no evidence of a connection. And you want to talk about...
You're just saying something. You're just making stuff up.
You know, this is what you say, right? Secretary Kennedy, when someone presents you with information that does not...
Reclaim your time. You didn't ask him a question. Reclaim your time.
I did not blame that shooting. I have no idea whether, I have no idea, and I never said that. You're making it up. You're twisting. Yeah, you are. You are being dishonest right now.
You want to talk about mental health?
So she's a liar too. So you just got chastised about calling the other woman a liar. So you are gonna make it easier to say she's being dishonest.
Health and gun violence in this country. If you want to talk about mental health and gun violence in this country, we should be talking about that because that's what the parents of Annunciation School.
You don't want to talk. You want to harangue and you want to have partisan politics. I want to actually solve these problems.
Ms. Secretary Kennedy, what the Trump administration is doing right now is making it harder for people in this country to get access to mental health care. So don't talk to me about solving the mental health care crisis when you are making it harder. You cut Medicaid, which is the #1 payer for mental health services in this country. You decimated the agency at Health and Human Services that focuses on mental health and substance abuse. That's what states count on. They're cutting their services to schools as a result of that. Several years ago, in a bipartisan way, Congress came together and passed the Safer Communities Act, which made important investments in mental health care and did some important, though small things, to reduce access to guns. What do? You propose cutting that funding. This is what we're talking about in your leadership in the Department of Health and Human Services. If you want radical transparency, as you talk about, I mean, take a look at what you are doing. And, you know, I've heard a lot about MAHA today while we've been here. There's a lot of Americans, Secretary Kennedy, who trust you, who believe what you say, especially when you say you're standing up to corruption. And I think that they need to know, you apparently have a lot of influence with President Trump. Did you ask him not to roll back these regulations that are stopping the big corporations from dumping heavy metals and endocrine disruptors into our soil and water? I mean, there's no evidence.
Of course not.
That you have been even opposed.
Why would he do that? He doesn't know that that is his job under Health and Human Services to keeping the American citizen healthy. He thinks that it is doing some feigned fake ass pull-ups with Hexeth, who's doing girl pull-ups, who is trying to bring back the warrior ethos to the military. Charlatans.
Using that. Did you do anything to stop the Trump administration from rolling back this handout to Big Pharma that makes it easier for the big drug companies to charge more for cancer drugs? No, you presided over that. I mean, it's stunning, really, what's happened over the last 8 months. It's stunning to me. And I just hope.
Okay, let's take a breather right there. You know, I had to do a little of my homework about him saying that antidepressants were a reason for school shootings. I did not hear this whole segment. I just found it, and let's see what it says. RFK Jr., we're investigating SSRI. Those are antidepressant drugs. Connection to mass shootings. That's what the title says.
Are doing those kind of studies now at NIH. We're launching studies on the potential contribution of some of the SSRI drugs and some of the other psychiatric drugs that might be contributing to violence. You know, many of them on there have black box warnings that warn of suicidal ideation and homicidal ideation. So we can't exclude those as a culprit, and those are the kind of studies that we're doing. Yeah, we are doing those kind of studies now.
Okay, so that's where that came from. She said that he was on Fox News, and that is where he said that. Let me see if there's any more. There are a couple. I think this is the same woman who's questioning him now.
HHS Secretary RFK Jr. said this morning that NIH is studying links between gender-affirming care and SSRIs, antidepressants. He says that they, quote, might be contributing to violence. You described that as the secretary peddling BS. I wonder why.
Yes. Well, this is the pattern of RFK. He cherry picks small bits of information. It's the same thing that he's done with vaccines. And then he tries to say that this is the cause of the problem. And I said this morning, I dare you to go to Annunciation School and say that guns don't kill kids, antidepressants do. And the fact is that the data is quite clear. There is no evidence of any link between people's use of antidepressants and gun violence or school shootings. So it is blatantly irresponsible of him to lift this up the day after this violent attack happened in a school just a few blocks from where I live and where so many Minnesotans are heartbroken, to somehow say that, oh, the problem is antidepressants. It's the height of irresponsibility. And this is who he is. This is what he does, is bring up these kinds of ridiculous bits of information that confuse people and are not helpful.
HHS Secretary.
Okay, there you have it. I just wanted to bring it to you so you can see it yourself. Oh, they definitely don't care about mental health. They should pay it back like CNN did. I think it was CNN. You girl, you know I had to go look for it. RFK needs to go somewhere, shut up, and eat some applesauce and jelly. Please, I have taken SSRIs for years and have never felt violent. That bullshit. All meds come with a possible adverse effect or side effects to some degree. And you also know that they said gender affirming drugs. So we are not going to pretend like we don't know the last school shooter was a trans. I don't know if it was male to female or female to male. I didn't get that much into but it is alleged that that shooter was trans and that the shooter in Tennessee was trans. And now all of a sudden this is creeping into the lie and the complicity of not doing anything about guns. Now is oh, it's a trans thing, and we are going to ignore all the white males. Now there was one guy who said they are going to finally have to face the facts that all of these school shootings what was his name involve white males. See, Kennedy didn't see a path to that. Let me see. Who was it? I forget his name. I'm trying to find it. I played it once before. Okay. I can't find it right now. I can't remember who it was. I think his name begins with Tillis. I don't know. It wasn't Tuberville, Tommy Tuberville, or whatever his name is. I can't find it. Hold on 1 second. One more second. I can't find it. Well, if you go back in some of my videos, I'll go back in some of my videos, because I was astounded by maybe it was a congressman. Let me erase the word senator from my search engine. Nope, I still can't find it. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, let's move on. I have girl, I got so caught up in that damn hearing, and now I was just getting to some parts that I had not heard before. I would have had that pulled up for you guys. So that's under your health is in danger. So let me share. This is another physician who is speaking about the hearings of RF RFK's hearing, and after sitting through the hearings, he is a congressman as well, and he is also flanked by other physicians who are also congressmen, and this is his statement after the RFK Jr. Hearings. I have that. The whole hearing is linked in my description box.
So much. Good morning, everybody, and thank you to 314 Action, Protect Our Care for bringing us together. It's a pleasure to be here with my Senate colleagues and the Democratic Doctors Caucus. I'm Congressman Dr. Raul Ruiz, and I'm an emergency medicine physician specialized in international humanitarian disaster aid and public health. We're here today because the health and safety of the American people are being jeopardized by the dangerous leadership of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. It is the biggest health threat that we face. He is the biggest health threat that we face in America today. More than 1,000 current and former federal health workers who dedicate their lives to keeping Americans safe have sounded the alarm. They are warning that Secretary Kennedy's reckless actions and inflammatory rhetoric are actively endangering the nation's health. In fact, with the recent shooting at the CDC, his inflammatory rhetoric is actively endangering the lives of CDC workers. The last thing this nation needs is a health secretary who undermines vaccines that have been shown through scientific studies and rigor that are safe and effective, who fires experienced experts and scientists doing the research that will save lives, and installs unqualified political allies based on their fringe, unhinged ideology in positions of critical scientific leadership. He forced out CDC Director Susan Monares, a respected scientist with impeccable credentials, because she refused to rubber stamp his dangerous, unscientific, ideologically driven agenda. 4 senior CDC leaders resigned in protest, and he replaced them with individuals who push conspiracy theories and unproven treatments. That is not reform. It is the very politicization he falsely accused CDC scientists of perpetrating. 9 former CDC directors, Republicans and Democrats, serving both under Republican and Democratic administrations, have issued a chilling warning that Secretary Kennedy's actions have weakened life-saving programs that protect Americans from cancer, heart disease, infectious disease, and much more. They told us plainly this is unlike anything our nation has ever experienced. And this is unacceptable. The American people deserve a health secretary who understands and uses science to protect families, that puts the public's health above politics. Secretary Kennedy has proven he cannot and will not do that. That is why today I join the Democratic Doctors Caucus and the chorus of health professionals, public servants, community leaders, CDC workers, scientific experts, the bench researchers in demanding his resignation now.
Now.
And if he will not step down, then Congress and the president must act to remove him. Our nation cannot afford a health secretary who undermines science, dismantles protections, puts lives at risk, our children's lives at risk. And we must restore integrity and trust to the Department of Health and Human Services, because the public's health is not a partisan issue. It is a matter.
Okay, now I wanted to share that with you. That is in my description box. Raul Ruiz, you better lay low because I feel a ICE visit to your doorsteps, Raul Ruiz. I think you in danger. I have two more people. Now, you guys do remember that there was a person who shot up the CDC. Hundreds of shots into the window of the CDC. And the reason given for him shooting up the CDC is because he did not agree with the information that was coming out about COVID. There was a uniformed black cop who was killed in that shooting. If you don't remember, I'm reminding you about this. Now, let's hear the details that came out about RFK response to that. Initially, there was no response. He was responding about something else, and he came back way later in the day and acknowledged that this black cop was killed doing his job at the CDC. That's first. But let's hear the questioning from Warnock. Warnock is going to ask some questions and give you some information that you may not be familiar with.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Kennedy, Dr. Daskalakis, who recently resigned as director of the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, his resignation letter stated he and his team were never allowed to brief you. I'm curious who you're listening to, since it's clear you're not listening to qualified experts like Dr. Daskalakis. Can you give the committee the name of the person?
I don't consider Dr. Daskalakis.
Mr. Secretary, the question that I have for you is, can you give the committee a name of who you're getting briefed by?
I'm getting briefed by all the time by CDC.
Just a name.
Dr. William Thompson's one name.
Thank you very much, sir. Now,
but I can get you a whole list of others. It's on my schedule.
Mr. Secretary, that's not a hard question. You know a lot of answers.
I'm not being evasive.
Okay, then you answered it. Let's go on. Now, you said that you're soon going to release a study claiming to reveal the cause of autism, timed unsurprisingly with the upcoming ACIP meeting to justify taking vaccines from Americans. Now, as you know, autism affects millions of children, so I guess you'd have the nation's top medical experts working on this. Mr. Kennedy, you hired a man named David Geyer to conduct this study. Is that correct?
No.
Is Mr. David Geyer working for HHS?
He's a contractor, but he's not conducting the study.
He's a contractor?
He's a contractor.
Do you know who works for you, Mr. Kennedy?
Yeah.
Do you know that Mr. Geyer is listed as a HHS on the employee directory as a senior data analyst, not a contractor?
He's a contractor. He's not an SGE.
So is your website wrong?
He's not an SGE. I don't know what.
I'm going to pull up the website for you.
He's a contractor.
If the website says he is a senior data analyst, will you at least admit to the committee?
Well, I don't know if a contractor can be classified as a senior data analyst or not.
Is Mr. Geyer a doctor?
No.
Did you know he never went to medical school?
He's not practicing medicine.
Did you know that he got caught in Maryland and was charged for practicing medicine without a medical license?
He was charged by a medical board. He sued the medical board, and the medical board was found to have acted in actual malice and was fined $2.6 million by a judge in Maryland for doing that.
See, so you choose to know a lot when you want to know a lot. It's incredible.
But you don't know if he's on the board. You want to feign that he's a contractor. You want to pretend ignorance, and when you have been proven to be ignorant.
Senator, you're ridiculous. So here's the question I have. You brought him in to do this study. I think there's no question about
I told you he's not doing a study.
Is he participating in the study?
No.
Is he doing any analysis in regards to this study?
No. What he's doing is getting access to the Vaccine Safety Data Link, which is the biggest repository for vaccine information that your friend would not give us for 7 months. For
Mr.
7 months.
Secretary, let me ask you this question, just because you know the answer. What is Mr. Geyer doing?
He is the only one, because Congress ordered CDC to open up the VSD to him in 2002. He's the only outsider who's ever seen it. So because CDC will not give us, they have
Mr. Secretary, is he participating in this then?
No.
You just said he's the only dude that knows what's going on here.
Do you want me to explain it to you, Senator, or do you just want to show? You just want to show both.
I'll submit.
You just want to show both for your ads, or you want to hear a real answer to your question?
Mr. Secretary, you choose to know answers to questions with some colleagues.
I'm willing to give you the answer. I'm willing to give you the answer.
Secretary, someone should have asked you, maybe President Trump should have asked you, are you a trustworthy person? And we should have waited for an answer then. Let's move on.
I don't even know what you're talking about. You're talking, Jim.
He's talking about what you said that you asked from the head of the CDC that you just fired. You asked her, was she a trustworthy person? Now you don't know what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about. Even I remember that. Who could forget that? Maybe 45, 47 should have asked you that.
Mr. Secretary, let me speak slowly and clearly so that you can understand me through my New Mexico accent.
And then give me a chance to
answer. Does this help? Can you understand me?
Yes.
Appreciate that. Mr. Secretary, yes or no, did you hire Mr. Geyer to do this study?
No.
Mr. Chairman, well, let me ask, maybe we'll just get a good answer here. Mr. Secretary, will you commit to sharing the protocols used for the autism study with Congress and to the public?
They're public.
Will you commit to giving it to this committee by the end of the week?
No, not because that's not the way it works. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Mr. Secretary, will you commit to sharing the protocols for the study by the end of the month?
We already have.
You just said it's public.
We put out the notice of funding opportunities, and then the scientists from all over the world.
You're not understanding me.
No, you're not understanding how the world works.
Do you understand what the protocols are? Do you understand what they are?
The scientists who are doing the studies submit the protocol.
Okay, so you know what they are.
Coming from us.
So will you commit to sharing those protocols with this committee?
Well, anybody can get a hold of the protocol. It's published with the study.
Mr. Chairman, what I'd like to ask is for your commitment here. I'll send a letter to the Secretary. I'll ask for support from the leadership of this committee to ask for those protocols. If those protocols are not given to this
anybody can get the protocols.
Mr. Secretary, I'm not talking to you. Mr. Chairman,
if the protocols are public, we can work with you.
What I'm asking, Mr. Chairman, is that if those protocols are not given to this committee, I'm asking for your agreement that we follow through with a subpoena to get them.
No, I will not agree to subpoena anything. Let's see what happens.
Mr. Chairman, you'll help me get them if they're available publicly?
Yes.
I appreciate that, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Kennedy, with all the questions here today, people just want to know the truth.
I don't think so.
Mr. Secretary, you don't think so. Thank you.
I don't think so.
I hope everyone recording that got that, because they're explaining the Secretary's tenure here. Look, 2 young ladies in Las Cruces, New Mexico at a town hall recently gave me this starfish pin. I was going to give it to you today, but after your questioning today, I don't think you deserve it, because what this represents is to remember that every one of us can make a difference, sir, to something as small as a starfish on a beach that maybe got washed up, you throw it back in the ocean. You might not save them all, but you can save one. I'm sorry that you're not worthy of this nice little pin, sir, is a nice reminder. I'm going to pray for you, Secretary Kennedy. I hope we do better. I want you to do better. But today was a failure for you, man. I yield back.
Senator Warnock.
Thank you, Brother Chair. Less than a month ago, we received the heartbreaking news that a gunman opened fire at the CDC campus in Atlanta, Georgia. This obviously is my neck of the woods. This is heart-wrenching for all Americans, but for those of us especially who live in that area. The DeKalb County police officer, David Rhodes, was killed. The shots hit buildings on campus in at least 180 places, narrowly missing the CDC's daycare center. Law enforcement recovered nearly 500 shell casings. Clearly, he came to do a lot of damage. It's a miracle, and thanks to the quick action of Metro Atlanta State law enforcement, more people were not killed. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation announced that prior to the attack, the gunman expressed discontent with the COVID vaccine and, quote, wanted to make the public aware of his distrust of the vaccines. Secretary Kennedy, I assume you are aware of these disturbing reports of the gunman's motives?
Yes.
And, I understand that some people may have concerns about new medical breakthroughs, but those people don't have the world's top medical experts working under them. You've been over HHS for 7 months now. Have you ever been briefed by CDC's career immunization officials to discuss your concerns?
And by the way, every member of this panel has criticized President Trump and demonized him.
Answer the question and quit filibustering, trying to think of a lie.
Have you ever been briefed?
Complicit in the assassination attempts on President Trump?
Sir, I'm asking the questions. You are the witness. It's a simple yes or no question. Have you ever been briefed by CDC's career immunization officials to discuss their...
Now you hear he asked, was he complicit in the assassination attempts against President Trump? This is the best answer he can give when asked a simple yes or no question. Were you briefed by the CDC immunization committee? And he asks about were you complicit? He asked him about he didn't ask him about being complicit in anything. He asked him, had he met with his staff that worked on immunization. And that's what the answer was. He ain't answered yet.
Concerns?
Yes, I have.
What was the answer?
Yes.
You have been briefed by CDC officials, the career immunization officials. Express your,
the senior vaccine safety scientist.
Have you ever been to the CDC as secretary before the shooting on August 8th?
Have I ever been there as secretary?
Have you been there as secretary before the shooting?
No.
Okay. Let's return to the shooting and the aftermath. Secretary Kennedy, I'm about to ask you a series of yes or no questions about the events of the past month. And I would appreciate just a yes or no response. You called Dr. Monarez to your office on August 25th for a meeting. Is that correct? Yes or no?
It could be. I just don't know the date. I'd have to check my calendar.
Was Jim O'Neill, the man you just appointed as acting director of CDC, in the room on whatever date you met with him, since you can't recall? Was he in the room when you met with Dr. Monarez? In that meeting, did you criticize Dr. Monarez for her statements to CDC following the shooting where she said, quote, misinformation can be dangerous?
I don't believe so. I have no record.
You don't believe you criticized her?
Oh, I criticized her.
Did you criticize her? Did you criticize her?
I don't even.
Did you criticize her for her statements to CDC workers following the shooting?
Did I what?
Did you demand that she fire career scientists or public experts at the CDC?
Yes.
Did you demand that she accept the recommendations of your hand-picked vaccine advisory panel without further review by career CDC scientists?
No, I did not.
You didn't ask for her commitment ahead of time that she would accept the recommendations from the advisory panel? You're denying
what
that?
I asked her about is she had made a statement that she was going to not sign on, and I wanted clarification about that.
Did you tell her to accept the advisory panel's recommendations?
I told her I didn't want her to have a rule that she's not going to sign on to it.
Did you say that the CDC was, quote, the most corrupt federal agency in the history of the world?
Not the history of the world, but definitely
Did you say
HHS.
Did you say that?
I did not say that, but I did say it's the most corrupt agency in HHS, and maybe the government.
So you call the CDC corrupt. Did you say that CDC staff are, quote, horrible people?
Horrible people?
Did you say that they're killing children and they don't care?
No.
Okay, I think that we all have a history of listening to you and these answers, but you're on the record for a number of these statements. Despite your lack of credentials and expertise, clearly you have an agenda. It is a threat to the public health of the American people. It's clear that you are carrying out your extremist beliefs, which is why you attempted to fire Dr. Monarez. Sir,
We're the sickest people on earth.
I'm speaking.
How am I a threat?
Secretary Kennedy, for the first time, we're seeing deaths from children from measles. We haven't seen that in 2 decades. We're seeing that under your watch. You are a hazard to the health of the American people.
Can I respond?
No, I claim back my time.
We need to wrap
You are a hazard to the health of the American people. I think that you ought to resign. And if you don't resign, the President of the United States, who put forward Operation Warp Speed, which worked, should fire you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay. I wasn't able to get through much, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave and walk the dog. So I didn't plan to go through so much of this, but yes, oh my God. oh my God, very Carrie. But I want to share with you this. All of the money and the funding and the 500 and something $million and this, that, and the other that was talked about, and the money that they don't have to keep hospital open, to keep hospitals in rural communities open, all of the community center medical centers that are going to be closing down, all of the people who are going to be losing their Medicaid, poor people are losing their Medicaid, between 13 and 17 million people under this administration, and I was unable to even I did talk about touch upon the jobs report that are the tariffs that are tearing this country apart because we as Americans are having to pay more for everything we buy. Hey, M. Renee. I didn't even know you were here. I'm glad to see you, and I hope you have a good night at work. But I'm gonna all of this stuff that they say that they do not have for the American people. All of this money that they pretend to say, oh no, we don't have the money, the budget, as they made the the largest tax cut in history for the rich. I also want you to remember that they have the money to effect a genocide in Palestine. I want you to know that your money is going to do these things. Your tax dollars is going to do these things for Benjamin Netanyahu and what he wants done in Palestine, while Benjamin Netanyahu people all have universal health care. Some of the best health care. All Israelis have that. Okay, so let's end with a note for what's going on in Gaza, how they're clearing a way for Trump to own parts of Gaza that he's going to redevelop into some great escape for people to lay out in the sun on the coast of Gaza. You know, that prime real estate. Let's see how they're doing in their desire to clear out Gaza.
Peace Report, I'm Amy Goodman. Israeli forces moved deeper into Gaza City Wednesday as Israeli leaders dismissed a statement from Hamas that the group is willing to release its remaining hostages in exchange for an end to Israel's assault. This comes as Palestinian health officials report Israeli forces have killed at least 84 people and wounded 338 others over the past 24 hours. In Gaza City, Palestinians mourn their loved ones killed in Israeli airstrikes.
He was martyred. He was hit by a strike inside his room. They killed him with his wife and children. They erased them all. No one is left for me. Yesterday he was with me. He told me, I have your back. I will not leave you. Whatever happens to you happens to me. But no, he's gone and left me alone. To whom are you leaving me, my brother Mohammed? To whom are you leaving me?
In Israel, far-right Minister Bezalel Smotrich on Wednesday proposed annexing 82% of the occupied West Bank. The plan would effectively end prospects for a future Palestinian state. In response to the United Arab Emirates said any efforts to annex the West Bank would cross a red line that could unravel the Abraham Accords that normalize relations between Israel and some Arab nations. Meanwhile, the Washington Post is reporting a post-war plan for Gaza circulating within the Trump administration would relocate the enclave's 2 million residents. Gaza would essentially be turned into a trusteeship run by the United States for at least a decade, where Palestinians who own land will be offered a digital token in exchange for rights to redevelop their property. Palestinians could redeem the token to move outside the Strip or into an apartment in one of the new cities to be created under the plan. The proposal was reportedly developed by some of the same Israelis who created the shadowy Gaza Humanitarian Foundation with contributions from the Boston Consulting Group.
The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation is the foundation coupled with American mercenaries that are tasked with feeding the Palestinians. But as the starving Palestinians come up, they're picking them off, unaliving them, killing them. Let's be clear.
Group. Scotland's top official announced.
Okay. The Boston group has tried to step away from their participation in this setting up for this new Trump era Gaza that they are creating. And I would be remiss if I didn't share with you this on my way out.
Dear Senators, throughout the past year, people have asked for my thoughts about my cousin Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his presidential campaign. I did not comment, not only because I was serving in a government position as United States Ambassador to Australia, but because I have never wanted to speak publicly about my family members and their challenges. We are a close generation of 28 cousins who have been through a lot together. We know how hard it's been, and we are always there for each other. But now that Bobby has been nominated by President Trump to be Secretary of Health and Human Services, a position that would put him in charge of the health of the American people, I feel an obligation to speak out. Overseeing the FDA, the NIH, the CDC, and Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, agencies that are charged with protecting the most vulnerable among us, is an enormous responsibility and one that Bobby is unqualified to fill. He lacks any relevant government, financial, management, or medical experience. His views on vaccines are dangerous and willfully misinformed. These facts alone should be disqualifying. But he has personal qualities related to this job, which for me pose even greater concern. I've known Bobby my whole life. We grew up together. It's no surprise that he keeps birds of prey as pets, because Bobby himself is a predator. He's always been charismatic, able to attract others through the strength of his personality, his willingness to take risks and break the rules. I watch his younger brothers and cousins follow him down the path of drug addiction. His basement, his garage, his dorm room were always the center of the action, where drugs were available, and he enjoyed showing off how he put baby chickens and mice in a blender to feed to his hawks. It was often a perverse scene of despair and violence. That was a long time ago, and people can change. Through his own strength and the many second chances he was given by people who felt sorry for the boy who lost his father, Bobby was able to pull himself out of illness and disease. I admire the discipline that took and the continuing commitment it requires. But siblings and cousins who Bobby encouraged down the path of substance abuse suffered addiction, illness, and death, while Bobby has gone on to misrepresent, lie, and cheat his way through life. Today, while he may encourage a younger generation to attend AA meetings, Bobby is addicted to attention and power. Bobby preys on the desperation of parents of sick children, vaccinating his own kids while building a following hypocritically discouraging other parents from vaccinating theirs. Even before he fills this job, his constant denigration of our healthcare system and the conspiratorial half-truths he's told about vaccines, including in connection with Samoa's deadly 2019 outbreak of measles, have cost lives. And now we know that Bobby's crusade against vaccination has benefited him in other ways too. His ethics report makes clear that he will keep his financial stake in a lawsuit against an HPV vaccine. In other words, Bobby is willing to profit and enrich himself by denying access to a vaccine that can prevent almost all forms of cervical cancer and has already been safely administered to millions of boys and girls. During my time in Australia, I worked on the Quad Cancer Initiative, and I learned that cervical cancer is among the top 3 forms of cancer among women in a majority of countries. Tragically, every year, more than 200,000 children lose their mothers. They are orphaned due to a lack of vaccines and screening. Those are the real-world consequences of Bobby's irresponsible beliefs. We are a close family, and none of that is easy to say. It also wasn't easy to remain silent last year when Bobby expropriated my father's image and distorted President Kennedy's legacy to advance his own failed presidential campaign, and then groveled to Donald Trump for a job. Bobby continues to grandstand off my father's assassination and that of his own father. It's incomprehensible to me that someone who is willing to exploit their own painful family tragedies for publicity would be put in charge of America's life and death situations. Unlike Bobby, I try not to speak for my father, but I am certain that he and my Uncle Bobby, who gave their lives in public service to our country, and my Uncle Teddy, who devoted his long Senate career to the cause of improving health care, would be disgusted. The American healthcare system, for all its flaws, is the envy of the world. Its doctors and nurses, researchers, scientists, and caregivers are the most dedicated people I know. Every day they give their lives to heal and save others. They deserve a knowledgeable leader who is committed to evidence and excellence. They deserve a secretary committed to advancing cutting-edge medicine to save lives, not to rejecting the advances we have already made. They deserve a stable, moral, and ethical person at the helm of this crucial agency. They deserve better than Bobby Kennedy, and so do the rest of us. I urge the Senate to reject his nomination. Sincerely, Carolyn Kennedy.